Assalamu alaikum. Before you scroll, pause for a second. There is someone on your mind right now, the one you tried to forget, but your heart still goes back to them. Late at night, in silence, in moments no one else sees, you keep asking yourself, why did this happen? Why did they leave? Were they meant for me? Or did I lose them? But what if you didn't lose them at all? What if Allah removed them, not to end your story, but to protect you, or to prepare something greater? Because here is a truth most people don't understand. If Allah has written someone for you, no distance can erase them, no silence can replace them, and no mistake can take them away from you. But if they are not written for you, no matter how much you hold on, no matter how much it hurts, they will never stay. So this video is not just about love. It's about understanding Allah's plan and finally answering the question your heart has been asking all along. Are they meant for you, or are you being guided to something better? This separation is not the end of your story. You feel like the moment they left, everything ended. Your heart keeps telling you the story is over, that what you had is now only a memory. You replay the moments again and again, wondering where it went wrong, why it had to end this way, why something that felt so real suddenly disappeared. But what if it didn't end? What if this is not the end of your story, but only a pause written by Allah? Sometimes, Allah closes a chapter quietly, not with clear answers, not with perfect closure, but with silence. And that silence hurts, because your heart wants clarity. It wants to know why. It wants to hold on. But Allah does not need to explain everything to you, because He sees what you cannot see. He knows the future you do not know. He sees the paths you cannot see. He knows what would have happened if things continued the way you wanted. And sometimes, what you are asking for would have slowly broken your heart in ways you cannot imagine. So in His mercy, He stops it, not because you were not enough, not because your love was not real, but because He is protecting something greater for you, something cleaner, something more peaceful, something more aligned with your Deen and your future. You see loss, but Allah sees protection. You feel abandoned, but Allah is redirecting you. And this is one of the hardest tests, because you are asked to trust Allah even when your heart does not understand. There are moments when two people meet at the wrong time, when emotions are strong but readiness is not there, when hearts are attached but lives are not aligned. So Allah creates distance, not to destroy the connection, but to prevent it from becoming something harmful. Because if something is truly written for you, it does not depend on your timing. It depends on Allah's perfect plan. And Allah's plan is never rushed. It is never careless. It is always precise, even when it feels painful. So this moment you are in right now, this silence, this confusion, this heaviness in your chest, it is not the end. It is a turning point, a place where Allah is quietly changing the direction of your story. A place where He is preparing your heart for something better than what you are holding on to. And one day, you will look back at this exact moment and realize nothing was actually lost. Allah was just rewriting your story in a way that you could not yet understand. What Allah wrote for you cannot be stolen. There is a quiet fear that sits deep inside your heart, a fear you don't always say out loud, the fear that maybe you lost something that was meant for you. The fear that someone else will take your place. The fear that your mistakes, your silence, your timing ruined what could have been yours. And because of this fear, your heart becomes restless. You start overthinking everything. You replay conversations. You imagine different outcomes. You wonder, if I did things differently, would they still be here? But listen carefully to this truth and let it settle inside you slowly. What Allah has written for you cannot be stolen, not by another person, not by distance, not by time, not even by your own mistakes. If something is truly written in your Qadr, then it is already yours before it even reaches you. It does not belong to chance. It does not depend on competition. It does not get taken by someone better, because what Allah gives is not decided by people. It is decided by Him alone. You may see someone else in their life. You may see them moving on. You may feel like you have been replaced. And your heart starts to believe, Maybe they were never mine. But understand this: if they were truly written for you, no one can take them away. Not even 1,000 people standing in your place could change what Allah has already decided. And if they are not with you right now, then either the time is not right, or they were never written for you in the first place. And both of these carry mercy, because if the timing is not right, Allah is preparing something. He is aligning things in ways you cannot see. He is shaping both hearts, both lives, both paths, so that when the moment comes, it will not break, it will last. And if they were never written for you, then Allah is protecting you from a story that would have brought more pain than peace. You may not feel it now. You may not understand it now, but one day you will. This is why chasing, forcing, and holding on with desperation only hurts you more. Because what is yours does not need to be chased in panic. It does not need to be forced into existence. It does not need to be begged for. What is yours will come to you with dignity, with clarity, with ease, with a sense of peace that does not confuse your heart. And what is not yours, no matter how hard you try, it will keep slipping away. This is not rejection. This is direction. Allah is teaching you to release control, to stop believing that everything depends on your effort alone, to understand that your life is not held together by your plans, but by His decree. So instead of asking, "What if I lost them?" ask yourself, "If they are truly written for me, how can I ever lose them?" And this is where your heart begins to change. Because when you truly believe that what Allah has written for you cannot be taken away, you stop living in fear. You stop comparing. You stop chasing people who are unsure about you. You begin to trust. You begin to breathe again. You begin to let go. Not because you don't care, but because you finally understand that what is meant for you will never require you to lose yourself just to keep it. And if Allah has written them for you, then no distance, no silence, no obstacle can stop them from reaching you. And when they do, you will realize that nothing was ever truly at risk. It was always safe in the hands of Allah. Not every heart you miss is meant to stay. There are people your heart refuses to forget. No matter how much time passes, no matter how much you try to move forward, something inside you keeps pulling you back to them. A memory, a feeling, a small moment, and suddenly it all feels alive again. And because of this, you begin to believe something very powerful. If I still miss them this much, they must be meant for me. But this is where the heart can misunderstand its own emotions. Missing someone does not always mean they are written to stay in your life. Sometimes what you miss is not the person themselves, but how they made you feel. You miss the comfort, the attention, the way your heart felt alive when they were around. You miss the version of yourself that existed in that connection, and slowly your mind turns that feeling into something bigger, into something permanent. But not every feeling is a sign of destiny. Some feelings are a test. Allah allows certain people to enter your life for a reason that is deeper than just staying forever. They come to awaken something inside you. They teach you what you were missing within yourself. They show you what kind of love you were searching for. And sometimes they expose your weaknesses, your attachments, your need for validation, your fear of being alone. And once that lesson is delivered, their role is complete. But your heart still holds on, because the heart does not let go easily. It becomes attached to moments, to words, to small details that felt meaningful. It starts to believe that letting go means losing something irreplaceable. But the truth is, if something was truly irreplaceable, Allah would not remove it from your life. Allah does not take away what is essential for your peace. He removes what is temporary, what is not aligned with your future, what would slowly damage your heart if it stayed. So the pain you feel right now is not proof that they are your destiny. It is proof that your heart is learning to detach from what was never meant to stay. And this is a different kind of strength, because anyone can hold on to what feels good, but not everyone can let go of something that feels right, even when Allah is showing them it is not. Sometimes you are not meant to keep the person. You are meant to keep the lesson, the patience you learned, the awareness you gained, the understanding of what you truly deserve, the realization that love should not feel like confusion, anxiety, or constant doubt. And slowly, as your heart begins to heal, you start to see things more clearly. You realize that what you were holding on to was not as perfect as you thought. You realize that some of the pain you ignored was actually a sign. You realize that Allah was not taking something beautiful away from you. He was saving you from something incomplete. So yes, you may still miss them. You may still think about them in quiet moments, but that does not mean they are meant to return. It simply means they were part of your journey, not your destination. And when you truly accept this, your heart begins to change. You stop chasing memories. You stop romanticizing what hurt you. You stop holding on to something that Allah has already removed. And you begin to trust that what is truly meant for you will not leave you in confusion. It will not leave you questioning. It will stay with clarity, with peace, and with a certainty that your heart will never have to fight for. Allah removes people to realign your heart. Sometimes the loss you feel is not really about losing a person. It is about losing what your heart was leaning on. You didn't just care about them. You slowly started depending on them. Their presence became your comfort. Their attention became your peace. Their words began to fill spaces inside you that were meant to be filled by Allah alone. And without even realizing it, your heart shifted. It became attached in a way that was deeper than it should have been. You started to look to them for emotional security, for happiness, for a sense of completeness. And when that happens, the heart begins to forget its true source of peace. So Allah, in His mercy, removes them, not to break you, but to bring you back, because Allah loves you too much to let your heart settle in something that cannot truly hold it. No human being, no matter how good they are, can carry the full weight of your heart. People change, people leave, people fail, but Allah never does. And when your heart becomes too attached to creation, Allah gently pulls you away from it, so you can return to the Creator. At first it feels like loss. It feels like something was taken from you unfairly. You question it. You struggle with it. You wonder why Allah would remove someone who meant so much to you. But what you don't see is what Allah is protecting you from. Sometimes that connection was slowly taking you away from your Deen. Sometimes it was making you emotionally dependent in an unhealthy way. Sometimes it was giving you temporary comfort, but leading you toward long-term pain. So Allah cuts it off, not because it was beautiful, but because it was not safe for your heart. And this is where the real test begins, because now you are left with yourself, with the silence, with the emptiness that used to be filled by them. And in that space, Allah is calling you back. He is teaching you to find your peace in Him again, to rebuild your connection with Him, to remember that the calm you are searching for was never meant to come from a person. It was always meant to come from your closeness to Allah. And slowly, something begins to change inside you. You start making dua again, not just for them, but for yourself. You start turning back to Allah, not out of habit, but out of need. You begin to feel a different kind of peace, a quieter, deeper peace that is not dependent on anyone staying or leaving. And this is the realignment. This is the moment where your heart is being corrected, redirected, purified. Because when your heart is connected to Allah first, then whatever comes into your life after that will not control you, will not break you, will not define your worth. It will simply be a part of your life, not the center of it. And if Allah chooses to bring someone back into your life after this, it will be different. It will be healthier. It will be balanced, because now your heart knows where its true home is. So if Allah removed someone from your life, don't only see what you lost, look at what He is trying to restore within you. Because sometimes the greatest mercy is not in giving you what you want, it is in taking away what was slowly pulling your heart away from Him. The right one returns with peace, not pain. One of the clearest signs of what is truly written for you is how it makes your heart feel, not in the beginning, when everything is exciting and new, but in the quiet moments, in the spaces where there is no performance, no pressure, no fear. Because what comes from Allah does not live in chaos. It lives in peace. But many people confuse intensity with love. They think if it hurts deeply, it must be real. If it makes them anxious, it must be important. If they are constantly thinking about the person, worrying about them, overanalyzing every small thing, then it must mean they truly care. But that is not peace. That is emotional exhaustion. That is your heart trying to hold on to something that is not stable. When something is not written for you, it comes with confusion. You don't know where you stand. You question their words. You doubt their intentions. You feel highs and lows that leave you drained. One moment you feel close. The next moment you feel distant, and your heart stays restless because deep down, it knows something is not right. But when someone is truly written for you, the feeling is different. There is a calmness in your chest. You are not constantly overthinking. You are not trying to prove your worth. You are not chasing clarity, because clarity is already there. You feel respected. You feel valued. You feel safe, not just emotionally, but spiritually, because the right person does not pull you away from Allah. They bring you closer to Him. They remind you of your Deen. They respect your boundaries. They align with your values in a way that feels natural, not forced. And most importantly, they do not make you lose yourself just to keep them. The right one does not create confusion in your heart. They remove it. They do not bring instability. They bring balance. They do not leave you questioning your place in their life. They make it clear without you having to ask. And even if there was distance before, even if there was a time when you were apart, when they return, it feels different. It does not feel like the same cycle repeating. It feels more mature, more grounded, more honest, because Allah does not return something to you in the same broken form. If He brings it back, He brings it back better, cleaner, and more aligned with what is good for you. And this is something your heart will recognize instantly, not through excitement, but through peace. A peace that does not need constant reassurance. A peace that does not make you afraid of losing them every moment. A peace that allows you to breathe. So if someone made you feel anxious, insecure, and unsure, that was not your final story. That was a lesson showing you what love is not supposed to feel like. And if someone is truly written for you, you will not have to fight for their presence in your life. You will not have to guess how they feel about you. You will not have to carry the relationship alone, because what comes from Allah does not come to break your heart. It comes to settle it. So don't confuse pain with destiny. The right one will not feel like a constant battle. They will feel like peace, a quiet, steady peace that your heart has been searching for all along. This distance is quietly preparing something greater. Right now, all you can see is the distance, the silence between you, the empty space where conversations used to exist, the absence that feels heavier at night when your thoughts become louder and your heart starts asking questions it cannot answer. Why did this happen? Why now? Why like this? From your perspective, it feels like something was taken away, like something beautiful was interrupted before it could fully grow. And because you cannot see what's ahead, your heart labels this distance as loss. But what if this distance is not loss at all? What if it is preparation? Allah does not create distance without purpose. He does not separate hearts randomly. When something is written for you, every delay, every pause, every moment of waiting carries meaning, even if you cannot understand it yet. Because while you are focusing on what is missing, Allah is working on what is coming. He is preparing you. Maybe there are parts of you that still need healing. Maybe your heart was too dependent. Maybe your understanding of love was still incomplete. Maybe your priorities were not fully aligned with your Deen. And if that connection had continued the way you wanted, it might have slowly harmed you instead of helping you. So Allah creates distance, not to take something away, but to fix what needs to be fixed before anything continues. And it's not just you. Sometimes the other person is being prepared too. Their mindset is changing. Their understanding is growing. Their path is being redirected. There are things happening in their life, in their heart, that you cannot see, but Allah sees every detail. And if that person is truly written for you, then this time apart is not separating you forever. It is shaping both of you, so that if you meet again, you meet as better versions of yourselves, more mature, more stable, more aligned with what Allah wants for you. Because sometimes Two people meet at the wrong time, not because they are wrong for each other, but because they are not ready yet. And if Allah allowed things to continue in that state, it could have ended in deeper pain. So He pauses it. He creates space. He gives you time, not to forget, but to grow. But here is the test. While Allah is preparing something greater, you are being tested in your patience. Will you trust Him even when you don't understand? Will you hold on to faith even when your heart feels heavy? Will you stop chasing what has been placed on hold and start focusing on what Allah is trying to build inside you? Because preparation does not always feel good. It often feels like loneliness, like confusion, like waiting without answers. But just because you cannot see what Allah is doing does not mean nothing is happening. Something is being arranged, something is being aligned, something is being written in a way that is better than what you imagined. And if it is truly meant for you, this distance will not destroy it. It will strengthen it. It will purify it. It will transform it into something that is not based on temporary emotions, but on stability, clarity, and barakah. And if, after all of this, it does not return, then understand this with peace in your heart. Allah was not preparing that person for you. He was preparing you for something better, something that will not require distance to fix it, something that will come at the right time, in the right way, with the right feeling. So don't rush this phase. Don't fight this distance, because sometimes what feels like separation is actually Allah building something far greater behind the scenes. And when it finally reaches you, you will realize why it had to take time. Letting go is trusting Allah's perfect plan. Letting go is one of the hardest things your heart will ever be asked to do, because when you care about someone, you don't just hold on to them with your hands. You hold on to them with your hopes, with your dreams, with the future you quietly imagined in your mind. You build something inside your heart that feels real, even if it hasn't fully happened yet. So when the moment comes where you have to release them, it doesn't just feel like losing a person, it feels like losing a part of yourself. And this is why letting go feels so heavy. Your heart resists it. Your mind keeps telling you to try one more time, to say one more thing, to fix what feels broken. You feel like if you just hold on a little tighter, maybe it won't slip away. But there is a truth your heart needs to understand. Holding on does not always mean strength. Sometimes, holding on is fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of starting over. Fear that you may never find something like this again. And because of that fear, you keep holding on to something that Allah is already showing you to release. But letting go is not giving up. Letting go is an act of tawakkul. It is a quiet, powerful decision where you say, Ya Allah, I trust you more than I trust my own feelings. It is choosing Allah's plan over your own attachment. It is believing that even if your heart cannot see the outcome, Allah can. And this is not easy, because your heart wants certainty. It wants guarantees. It wants to know that if you let go, something better will come. But tawakkul does not work like that. You are not asked to see the full picture. You are asked to trust the one who sees it. So when you let go, you are not losing control. You are returning control to Allah. You are saying, if this person is truly written for me, bring them back in a way that is pure, stable, and pleasing to you. And if they are not written for me, remove them completely from my heart and replace them with something better for my dunya and my akhirah. And that kind of dua, that kind of surrender, changes you, because now your heart is no longer tied to an outcome. It is tied to Allah. And this is where real peace begins. Because when your trust is in Allah, you are no longer shaken by who stays and who leaves. You understand that people come and go by His permission. You understand that nothing leaves your life unless He allows it, and nothing enters your life unless He writes it. So instead of fighting what is leaving, you begin to accept it, not with weakness, but with quiet strength. A strength that says, I may not understand this, but I trust that you do. And something beautiful happens when you reach this point. Your heart becomes lighter. A constant overthinking begins to fade. The desperate need to control everything starts to disappear, because you finally understand you were never in control to begin with. Allah was, and He still is. So if you are standing at that place right now, where your heart is being asked to let go, don't see it as the end. See it as a step closer to Allah. Because sometimes Allah does not take something away to empty your life. He takes it away to make space for something better, something cleaner, something that will not confuse your heart or pull you away from Him. And if that person is truly written for you, letting go will not remove them from your destiny. It will only bring them back in a way that is right. And if they are not written for you, then letting go will save you from holding on to something that was never meant to stay. So let go, not because it is easy, but because you trust Allah's plan more than your own. What is written for you will always find you. After everything you have felt, the confusion, the waiting, the nights where your heart felt heavy, there is one truth that remains steady. No matter how your situation looks right now, what Allah has written for you will always find you. Not because life is easy, not because everything will go the way you expect, but because Allah's decree does not fail. It does not get lost. It does not miss its destination. Sometimes you look at your life and it feels like things are slipping away, like what you hoped for is getting further from you. Like maybe you missed your chance, maybe you made the wrong move, maybe it's too late now. But understand this deeply: what is truly yours was never dependent on perfect timing from you. It was always written to reach you. You may take different paths. You may make mistakes. You may go through delays, detours, and moments where everything feels uncertain. But none of that can cancel what Allah has already written, because your destiny does not get confused. Even when you do, there are things in life that are meant to pass by you, and there are things that are meant to reach you no matter what. And the difference between the two is not in how much you chase them, but in how Allah has written them for you. This is why some people leave your life so easily. No matter how much you try, no matter how much you hold on, they keep slipping away, because they were never meant to stay. And this is why some things return in ways you never expected, without forcing, without chasing, without you even planning it. Because what is written for you does not need to be forced into your life. It finds its way to you through doors you didn't even know existed. And sometimes it comes after a long period of waiting, a period where you felt like nothing was happening, where you questioned everything, where you almost lost hope. But even in that waiting, Allah was aligning things. He was arranging events. He was moving people, changing circumstances, opening paths that you could not see. Because when something is written for you, it is not just about you. It involves timing, people, situations, and countless details that only Allah can control. And when all of it comes together, it arrives in your life in a way that feels right, not rushed, not forced, but perfectly placed. And when that moment comes, you will understand. You will look back at every delay, every disappointment, every time you thought you lost something, and you will realize that nothing was truly lost. Everything was guiding you here. This is why you don't need to live in fear. You don't need to keep asking, what if I lose them? Or what if it never happens? Because if it is written for you, it cannot miss you. Even if it is delayed, even if it takes a different path, even if it disappears for a while, it will return, or it will be replaced with something better. And that better is something your heart cannot fully imagine yet. So let your heart rest. Stop chasing what feels uncertain. Stop holding on to what keeps slipping away. Trust that what belongs to you is already written, and it is already on its way, because what Allah writes always finds its way to you. And when it finally reaches you, it will not bring confusion. It will bring peace, a peace that makes you realize Allah was guiding everything all along. And maybe right now, your heart is still holding on, still thinking about them in quiet moments, still wondering if they will come back, still asking Allah for a sign, for clarity, for something to ease what you feel inside. And that's okay, because Allah sees every tear you never showed anyone. He hears every dua you whispered when no one else was around. He knows the weight you carry, even when you try to act strong in front of the world. But listen carefully. Your story is not in your hands. It is in the hands of Allah, the one who knows what your heart needs, not just what it wants. The one who writes every meeting, every separation, every return, with wisdom that you may not understand today, but you will understand one day. So don't lose yourself chasing someone who is uncertain, and don't break your heart trying to hold on to what Allah is asking you to release. If they are truly written for you, they will come back in a way that does not confuse you, in a way that does not hurt you, in a way that brings peace to your heart. And if they don't come back, then trust that Allah is protecting you from a story that was never meant to be yours. So take a deep breath and give your heart back to Allah, because what is meant for you will never miss you, and what misses you was never meant for you. Trust Him, even now, even here, even when your heart is still learning how to let go.